more than anybody else, the founder of TAP. He certainly had a lot of help from the faculty at RPI. He had a lot of help from people in the city of Troy, because the year before TAP was founded, Trip Incorporated was founded. And at that time, I don't know which came first, his becoming the board president of TAP or the executive director of Trip. He did both things at the same time for quite a few years. And he managed to get Chico and I as interns, but there was a whole host of people. I don't remember. There's James Taylor, not the singer, but another James Taylor. And anyway, there was a good group of people. But as Bob said, Vinny was the guy who knew how to build things, even though he was only a couple of years older than us. He started running the Trip. And then TAP became an all-volunteer corporation, or student interns. And so we wound up doing the drawings for all the rehabs that Trip was doing. But really, the common core through all of it that we did was Vince Lepera. After he left, I didn't sleep right for a month when I first took over TAP. I can't do Vinny's job. But he made a tremendous impact on the city in those days. And then he went on to create an architectural firm with Len Tantillo first, and then with Jay Ward. And then he moved on to work with Architecture Plus. I left out the fact that he was the field manager for the exterior rehabilitation of the D&H building on Auburn in the meantime. So a man of considerable determination and remarkable experience. I look forward to hearing what he has to say.
I didn't bring any slides, so you can turn that off, because it's blinding. Tonight you've had a good history, thanks to Joe and Gary, Bob, and personal comments from Amy about the Hoosick Street Bridge and the North-South Arterial. 1969 was a tumultuous time for me personally, because I decided that my thesis was going to be founding TAP, an organization dedicated to providing professional services, architectural and legal services to the disenfranchised community, basically low and middle income communities. So there was a lot going on. There was my plate was more than full. The only way I could survive financially was working for Trip. I was fortunate enough to get the job as the first executive director for Trip, and had to run both organizations simultaneously. And to this day, a lot of people are confused about TAP and Trip. They think of it as one organization. Anyway, I'm going to confine my comments to the North-South Arterial because all the other stuff we were doing, we could be here for days. At the time that we were founding TAP, we had to make some critical choices, and we knew that the Hoosick Street Bridge, basically, as Gary has pointed out, was a fait accompli. There was no way to stop it. It was going to happen. Any efforts put towards stopping it would be futile. However, the North-South Arterial in 1969 was kind of dying almost on its own weight. And we basically made the choice to do three things. One thing was to apply political pressure where we could. Bob was basically leading that charge. He drew up the documents, and I signed things after reading them. And
FBI knows.
Because there was so much going on. But one thing we decided to do was apply political pressure, and Bob was pretty good at that. The other thing that we decided to do was to see if we could come up with an alternative interchange at Hoosick Street to minimize the impact of the roadway. And Joe worked on that. Joe and Chico, bless his soul. And we were very effective in convincing DOT that a minimalist interchange at Hoosick Street was really all that was necessary to do the job that needed to be done in terms of traffic. So we were successful at that. The third thing that we did was to try to actually kill the idea of the north-south arterial. And what we did there was pretty crafty. Working with Bob Winnie, again, Bob was my thesis advisor at RPI. He's gone now, but he was a great teacher. Talking to Bob Winnie, we brought in, through the RPI lecture series, William McGrath, who was the highway commissioner in Boston. He was a brilliant urban highway planner. And we brought him to Troy for a day. I spent the day with him. We walked the entire route of the north-south arterial proposed at the time. We got him all of the documents that we could get our hands on. And we asked him to do a lecture, which he did. And we also asked him if he could do a engineering analysis of the highway, both from the standpoint of traffic engineering as well as structural engineering. And one of the things that Bill McGrath discovered, and it's really surprising to me that the New York State engineers did not realize this, or perhaps they were ignoring it, but the geology for the highway path is very, very difficult in terms of structural engineering. And Bill McGrath was really brilliant. He put together an evaluation that showed in real terms that the highway as proposed was going to cost more than 4 times what they budgeted. More than 4 times what they budgeted. And he was very respected by DOT. And I think that was one of the final nails in the coffin for them dropping the idea of a north-south arterial and admitting that, well, traffic, the way it works pretty much right now is okay. We won't build this thing. So those were the 3 things that we did. I think we were reasonably effective. There was no way we were going to stop the bridge. Too bad about that, but we did kill the highway, and we did come up with an alternative design at Hoosick Street, which is basically what DOT built.